Have you ever just looked around your home, taken a sort of mental inventory, and wondered what would actually happen to your most crucial items in a disaster?
Right. Like if you had to leave right now.
Exactly. If the unthinkable happened, what would survive the aftermath?
Welcome to today's deep dive. We're exploring the fascinating and highly engineered world of safes and secure storage.
It is a world people think they know, but they really don't.
Yeah, I mean, we all know the standard use cases, right? Keeping cash or some jewelry locked up. But our mission today is to uncover what you should actually be storing in a safe. We're looking way beyond the Hollywood stacks of cash to focus on important legal documents, sensitive digital files, and we're going to understand the hidden mechanics of how these metal fortresses actually work.
The mechanics are honestly incredible.
They really are. And today's deep dive is built from a massive stack of sources. We've got technical locksmith manuals, industry trend reports, and some really great insights from professional safe technicians.
Which is vital because getting that professional perspective changes everything. It does. And speaking of professionals, we need to mention today's sponsor, West Point Locksmith. You can have the best safe in the world, but if the rest of your home security is a joke...
You've already lost.
Right. So West Point Locksmith, they serve all of Los Angeles. They have these amazing 5-star reviews highlighting their 24/7 fast, reliable, and professional availability. From emergency lockouts to rekeying, smart locks, and even car key replacements, they are the team to call at 310-295-4040. They keep your home, business, and vehicles secure.
Which is the perfect foundation. Because, big picture here, we rely on safes to protect our tangible assets from unpredictable hazards. But the critical thinking about which safe to actually use and what to put inside that is almost always overlooked.
Yeah, people just buy a heavy box and assume they're good.
Exactly. And that leads catastrophic vulnerabilities.
So let's get into the misconceptions. People usually just think, cash and jewelry, but our sources emphasize that safes are equally vital for important documents.
Things most people forget to protect.
Right. Birth certificates, passports, property deeds, insurance records.
And you have to understand the why behind this storage. It's not just about a burglar breaking in. It's about natural disasters, fires, floods, localized accidents. Securing those sensitive files ensures you maintain the foundation of your life or your business, even if a disaster completely wipes out your physical location.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because the specific hazards completely dictate the type of safe you need, right?
They do. And you have to look at the context. Are we talking commercial or residential?
Which have completely different stakes.
Exactly. Homeowners are mostly protecting personal jewelry, legal documents, digital media, like hard drives and USBs containing backups. For a homeowner, it's about sentimental value and irreplaceable life continuity.
But for commercial...
For commercial entities, they rely on actual vaults. We're talking cash, yes, but also highly sensitive corporate documents and valuable inventory. If a business loses that operational data, the downtime alone is incredibly costly. It can bankrupt them.
So you have to choose your fortress wisely. Let's look at fire safes, because the specifics in the sources blew my mind.
The engineering is brilliant.
It is. So they're rated based on duration and temperature, typically ranging from 30 minutes to 2 hours. But a fire safe is specifically designed to protect combustible materials, right? Like paper and cash.
Yes, and the way they do it is fascinating. The walls of a fire safe are filled with a proprietary composite material, often using gypsum. Paper starts to burn at around 450 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
So when the safe is exposed to extreme exterior heat, that composite undergoes a chemical reaction. It releases water molecules as steam.
Wait, steam into the face?
Yes. The steam floods the interior and maintains an internal temperature well below combustion for that rated 30 minutes or an hour.
But hold on, if it's flooding the inside with steam and moisture, isn't that a massive threat to the sensitive digital hard drives and USBs we were just talking about?
That is the ultimate paradox.
Yeah.
And it's exactly why you cannot just throw everything you own into one standard fire safe. That steam will save your paper passport, but it will instantly fry the delicate components of a mechanical hard drive.
Wow.
So to protect digital media, you need a specialized data safe, or a sealed, fire-resistant media cooler placed inside the larger safe to maintain a dry microclimate.
That is such a critical distinction, and it also contrasts heavily with burglary safes, because a fire safe has thin metal walls to make room for that composite, right?
Right. The metal is often surprisingly thin. It won't stop a determined burglar.
So for that, you need a burglary safe. Thick walls, reinforced doors, and complex locks designed to resist drilling and prying.
Which brings us to the high security ratings from Underwriters Laboratories, the UL ratings. You'll see things like TL15 and TL30 in the commercial space.
What does the TL stand for?
Tool resistant. A TL15 rating means the safe can resist a severe, calculated physical attack from professional engineers for a networking time of 15 minutes.
And networking time means the clock stops if they step back to change a drill bit.
Exactly. It's 15 minutes of continuous, brutal tool-on-metal destruction. A TL30 withstands 30 minutes. To a common burglar, a TL30 is just an impenetrable brick wall.
And here is a really surprising fact from the locksmith video sources regarding residential use. Gun safes.
Ah, yeah.
They aren't just for firearms. Because of their massive size, their fire resistance, and tamper-proof locks, locksmiths highly recommend gun safes for storing general valuables.
They're a fantastic hybrid option for homeowners.
But of course, an intruder could just try to haul the whole thing away if it's not secured, which is exactly why you need professionals to bolt it down. If you're looking to upgrade your home or business security, West Point Locksmith is the team to call.
Bolting it to the foundation is non-negotiable.
Yep. And West Point has those 5-star reviews, 200/7 availability anywhere in LA, and you can reach them at 310-295-4040. They do it all, from emergency lockouts to car key replacements. They are fast, reliable, and professional.
You really want that perimeter and physical installation handled correctly.
Absolutely. So here's where it gets really interesting. The brains of the operation. The locks themselves.
This is where the true engineering shines.
The classic mechanical combination dial. I mean, we've all seen them, but the sources describe the internal wheel pack. It's wild. Each wheel corresponds to a number in the combination and has a little notch in it.
A gate, yes.
Right, a gate. And as the user rotates the dial in that specific sequence, right then left, they're mechanically picking up these wheels to align all the notches.
Once they align, a metal bar drops in, and the lock opens. It's a 19th century masterpiece of engineering. And the pros are undeniable. They are highly durable, they require absolutely no batteries, and they are completely resistant to any kind of electronic hacking or EMP.
But there are downsides.
Oh, definitely. They can be very slow to open under stress. If someone is breaking into your home, spinning a dial perfectly to the left 3 times is tough. And forgetting the combination is a massive vulnerability.
So that leads us to the modern electronic keypads, the Sentry safes. You just type in a digital code, it activates an electronic circuit, and boom, you're in.
They are fast and convenient. They even offer audit trails, so a business can see exactly whose code was used and when.
But the sources point out a fascinating vulnerability here. They run on batteries.
Right. And worse, they are highly susceptible to power surges.
Yeah, the sources mentioned a surge could literally damage the internal components.
Think about it. You buy a top-of-the-line safe, but a cheap power strip fails, surges the circuit board, and now your impenetrable metal box is a brick. It refuses to recognize the right code.
That's terrifying. Then there are the high-tech options. Biometric safes using fingerprint or facial recognition, and dual locks that combine dials and keypads for layered security.
It really comes down to what you trust more. I have to ask you, the listener, what stands out to you? Are you more comfortable trusting a 100-year-old mechanical wheel design that relies on your memory, or modern electronic circuitry that relies on power?
That is the million-dollar question. Because if you choose wrong or if you just have bad luck, you end up in the nightmare scenario.
A lockout.
You're locked out of your safe, your passport, your sensitive files, your digital backups are trapped. Based on our research, the common reasons are forgotten combinations, lost keys, dead batteries, internal bolts that jammed because you stuffed too much in there, or those power surges frying the electronics.
It happens far more often than people realize.
So how do professional safe technicians approach this? Because they can't just blow it up.
No, the professional approach is an art form. Their primary goal is non-destructive entry. They want to get you in without ruining the safe.
Like manipulation, we see that in movies, right?
Yeah.
Stethoscopes and all that.
It's actually very real, just more mathematical than the movies. A master technician carefully rotates the dial, feeling for microscopic friction and listening for the internal mechanisms. They are mapping the lock's imperfections to determine the combination, leaving the safe completely intact.
That takes incredible skill. What about for key locks?
For key locks, technicians use specialized picking tools, or they exploit design vulnerabilities to bypass the lock entirely.
And the sources mention some really cool specialized tools, like bore scopes.
Yes, if the lock is failing, they might drill a tiny microscopic hole and thread a bore scope, which is essentially a medical camera, inside the safe.
So they can peer directly into the lock mechanism and trigger the override?
Precisely. They physically manipulate the internal components while watching the screen.
So what does this all mean when those non-destructive methods fail? Like if the lock is completely destroyed?
As a last resort, professionals use destructive entry. This is precision drilling with carbide bits, creating a tiny hole that can actually be repaired later with a hardened steel taper pin. Or in extreme cases, they use heavy cutting tools.
Hmm.
But the goal is always to preserve the safe's overall integrity whenever humanly possible.
It's basically industrial surgery. And honestly, this nightmare scenario is exactly why you need a reliable professional on speed dial, which is a perfect time to make one final pitch for West Point Locksmith. If you ever face a safe lockout or you just need fast, reliable, five-star locksmith services in Los Angeles, you have to call them.
You do not want an amateur drilling into your safe.
No, they could trigger glass relockers and permanently seal the door. You need experts. From smart locks to car key replacements, call West Point Locksmith 247 at 310-295-4040. They will handle it.
They really are the pros.
So, to summarize everything we've dug into today, safes are essential, but not just for cash. They are for preserving the vital legal documents, the sentimental items, and the sensitive files that anchor your life.
And choosing between fire, burglary, and electronic safes requires matching the tool to the specific real-world threat you actually face.
Because true security is a balance.
It is a balance between impenetrable defense and reliable accessibility. Knowledge is most valuable when it's applied, so I highly encourage you, the listener, to audit your own valuable storage this week. Look at what you're protecting and ask if it's in the right fortress.
That's great advice.
And I want to leave you with one final, lingering question to ponder.
Oh, I love these. Let's hear it.
As our lives become increasingly digital and our most sensitive files migrate to encrypted cloud servers, what happens to the physical safe? Will the heavy metal safe of the future become completely obsolete? Or, as cyber threats grow and quantum computing threatens digital encryption, will human beings always have an innate psychological need to place a heavy, impenetrable physical door between our most treasured items and the outside world?
Wow. Returning to purely analog security in the future. That is something to think about. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Secure your valuables, audit your storage, and we will catch you next time.